You are watching Market Watch, the brief overview of the key events from the world of finance. The short week started unexpectedly very well for the stock market. The largest U.S. stock indexes completed the first trading day of the week in the green zone. It is important to take into account that the Nasdaq and S&P500 updated historical highs several times in the previous week, and again it happened yesterday. But what is equally important is the stability of the American currency. While the Nasdaq and S&P500 strengthened by 1.1% and 1% respectively, the US dollar index weakened by about 0.2%. At the same time, we did not observe a decrease in the yield of US government bonds. If we summarize all this, we can talk about a general increase in interest in risky assets, while there is no outflow of investments from the so-called protective assets. Not to say that this is a very common phenomenon, but it is not rare either. However, the market cannot stay in this state for a long time. Consequently, one of two things will happen: either stock market sales will begin, or gold and US government bonds will begin to lose their attractiveness. Please note that gold continues to be held in a very narrow sideways position, thereby indicating the obvious uncertainty of the market. And now let's move on to another asset, which, like the key US stock indexes, is showing rapid growth. You have probably already guessed that we are talking about oil. Yesterday, the market received another bullish fundamental factor from the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This country is developing measures that will be aimed at limiting the passage of the so-called shadow fleet of tankers with Russian oil through the Baltic Sea. This is quite an important route, because about a third of Russia's offshore oil exports pass through it, which is approximately equal to 1.5% of global oil demand. But it will not be possible to complete today's review on an optimistic note, because the activity of buyers in the cryptocurrency market remains very weak. Bitcoin continues to trade above $65,000 and Ethereum above $3,400, but the risk of a bearish scenario continues to increase. Given all this, a short-term deterioration in sentiment on the stock market can strengthen the sales of the largest cryptocurrencies. But there is still no panic, and it is unlikely that it will happen if nothing global happens in the financial markets. That's all I have. Follow the news carefully and be prepared for all the surprises of the market.